they're way better than what everybody makes them out to be. Way better. Way better. I mean, I feel like a lot of our I feel like PA guys, could go there and, are going to struggle. Like, it's just different, and a lot of those guys just have those tracks figured out. They know what they're to do to their cars. They're hooked up. There's not much traction out there. They know what they got to do, and they're just good, Man, I was at Wayne County the other week, and we had a shock fall off and stuff, so that didn't help us out any. But, I mean, there's guys with their numbers are...
There's a lot of flatbeds out there looking good.
That's exactly it, yes. And it's like, what the hell? Who is this guy? What's his name? You hear his name, and it's like, you've never heard of it. And this guy is running wide open against the fence, and he's fast. And it's like, what the hell? Like, I never would have expected this. Like, you got to be pretty good to do that kind of shit. And this guy's like doing it and driving by me. And I'm like, what the, like, who is this guy? Now
what I'm saying in that is, like, if you do that in California, you're a superstar. If you do that in PA, you're a superstar. You do that in Ohio, who gives a fuck?
Right.
Basically.
I feel like it's also tough, like, to really make up much in Ohio, especially, not always, but sometimes when the tracks get a certain way, because it's like, it's dead slick. You're only touching your throttle pedal to quarter throttle at most. Because if you go anymore, you just blow the tires right off of it. So it also allows that guy who
doesn't have the money.
Right, doesn't have the money, doesn't have the motor, doesn't have the name. He ain't known as being freaking David Gravel, right? Or Danny Dietrich or whatever.
Fred Raymer. And your guys around here, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's like, they can go there, and it's like, you're not going to pass them.
Come to the Grove in time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Here's the best race car driver in the country, ladies and gentlemen, Logan Spar. We're just going to... That's what he wants you to know.
Get the fuck out of here.
You're saying if you got a 410 ride in Ohio, you would whoop their ass?
Me and multiple other 305 drivers.
You think so?
I believe so.
Why?
We run on slick tracks all the time. We're underfunded. I don't know. It's just one of those deals where we don't have the money to go to the next level, but if we were given the opportunity to go race against those scrubs on a slick track, it'd end up different.
Why would you say scrubs? I mean, you got Devon Borden saying they are not scrubs.
Well, you grew up in Pennsylvania, you got all the heavy hitters here.
You're going to go to Ohio, you get a 410 ride next week. You're going to go beat them?
Let's have at it.
You think you could beat them?
Haven't thrown sliders for the lead.
Is this Cale Thomas?
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't watching long. I just hopped in. I saw you guys live, so I was just joining the fun.
Well, Devon Borden sitting here saying that he is shocked at what he experienced in Ohio, how good y'all are.
I'm just surprised that some of these guys that I've never heard of are like pretty decent.
I'm not saying they could compete with people in Pennsylvania.
Are you saying they can't compete with people in Pennsylvania?
I'm not saying. I'm not necessarily saying they could compete with maybe at the highest level. I'm just saying that I'm surprised that
how many there are,
and how pretty decent they are is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm just simply saying that's the money, Kel. What's your response?
Definitely less. He definitely has better equipment as far as like, you guys race on half miles. I think that's kind of the difference. And then I think the racing is different because of that. Like, you can include money, but then like just how you drive is differently. So like Halifax, Lincoln, and Williams Grove, and Port Royal, and Sealands Grove is different than what you do at Attica, Fremont, and Wayne County and stuff like that.
So are you basically saying like it's money? You need money to be up front at Williams Grove, Port Royal. You need good equipment to do it right. And if you don't have good equipment, you're fucked. Whereas on the Ohio tracks, you can just have decent equipment and know how to drive and you can make up for it.
You can look at it both ways. I mean, I can definitely win with a 12 head, probably a lot easier at Attica Fremont than I can at any of the Pennsylvania
Very
tracks.
true.
So you could drive around Devon Borden very easily, is what you're saying. Tell him, Kel.
Did you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear. We just need you to tell Devon
Oh, okay.
Borden you're gonna drive around his 45 ass every night of the
Oh, I
week
didn't.
at Attica and Fremont. You're gonna do it because you're a better driver.
Nah. Those guys are good. You know, Cap Henry and Caleb Henry, and there's a lot of good guys in Ohio. I think the racing's just different. How has Devin done this year? I haven't seen. Has he raced a lot of Ohio?
Have you not noticed the Wicker Bills in Ohio? I mean, he's won a race in the All Star Series because of the Wicker Bills.
That was the All Stars.
It was Attica. I'm
He
sorry,
won
just
that
Attica, not
he
All
won the
Stars, not All
controversy.
Stars. Hold on, not All
It
Stars.
wasn't All Stars. No, I saw that. I remember that. That was good. That was actually good. That was a good race.
Well, and he was making the point really that if you're doing what Ohio drivers do in Ohio versus what PA drivers do in PA versus what California drivers do in California, that Ohio's not necessarily getting that recognition. It's not getting any credibility when you do well in Ohio. You know, here's the problem with Ohio. The problem with Ohio, unlike Iowa, unlike South Dakota, is y'all's premier track is Eldora. And if you don't do shit at Eldora, it kind of just doesn't matter. You know, whereas if you do shit in Iowa at Knoxville, it does. If you do shit at Houston, it does. If you do shit at Williams Grove, it does. Y'all's premier track doesn't have weekly racing. It doesn't have
Yeah.
and it's very opposite. Like Attica, Fremont, Skyline, name the Ohio tracks, Atomic, they're not anything like Eldora. Eldora is completely different than what y'all do on a regular basis. And what y'all do on a regular basis kind of gets null and voided because I think because it's not Eldora, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the tracks are nothing like that. And then, yeah, all the tracks in PA, I mean, they're a little different, but they kind of half miles always translate in some.
But if you do well
aspects.
at Port, you do well at Williams Grove, these are the tracks where the big races matter.
Yeah, that's one thing about Ohio. Like, we have one Attica race, we have one Fremont race, we have one Atomic race, and then even I feel like for the most part the formats, and Devin can probably relate to this, is the formats don't really do us any favors as far as like qualifying and heat racing and stuff like that. Where like PA, I love that they do like tune-up formats and you qualify. And I think that's probably what the Ohio guys lack is qualifying for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely all comes down to, obviously, you know, I mean, it all comes down to track position. And, I mean, you're not winning these races unless you're starting in the first freaking 4 rows for the most part. You know, I mean, would
Unless
you
you're
agree?
Cap.
Unless you're what?
Unless you're Cap, yeah.
Cap. I mean, the other week at Attica, he went from, it was stupid. He like went from like, I don't know, like
ninth to first in 5 laps.
Yeah, and I don't know how he did it. Like, he was so much more stuck than he drove by me like 3 times. We had a bunch of restarts, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck to do because he's literally just that stuck, and like no one else was even close to that.
Yeah, when you hit it there, it's crazy. Kind of the speed difference and like the passing difference. I mean, Brett Marks did the same thing at an All-Star show, I think, in like 21 there. Yeah, he went 20th to first there, and then, you know, I had a run there last year where I went 12th to third in the B main. no yellow. So like it's when you hit it there, it's pretty cool. Like you're allowed to pass there. Just if you don't hit it, it's really hard to pass because like dirty air affects you, and it's just kind of dirty. And I think that's kind of what's different from PA tracks as well. Like it's hard to pass PA tracks, but like your line's defined. Like Attica, your line isn't defined. Fremont, the line isn't defined. You can move.
Right.